Hi, welcome to Heal Body, Mind and Spirit. My name is Dermot Farrell and today we're going to talk about apple cider vinegar, otherwise known as ACV for short. You've probably heard of it, you might even have it in your kitchen, and if you have heard of it, you've probably heard that it heals everything from funginated toenails to cancer, which is partially true. Now, I'm not saying that apple cider vinegar is perfect, but a lot of research does show that apple cider vinegar has a lot of benefits, and it's probably worth your while having a glass of apple cider vinegar every day. So what are the benefits of apple cider vinegar? Well, first of all, apple cider vinegar alkalizes the body. What do I mean by that? Well, basically the human body is designed to be alkaline. Just over 7, around 7.2, 7.3 on the pH scale. So on the pH scale, 0 is unbelievably acidic, 7 is neutral, which is water, and then we move into bases, with 14 being just as acidic as say 1, for example. So coffee is number 4. It's a pH of 4. It's pretty acidic. Okay, hydrochloric acid will be around 1. If you get a base that's around about 10 or 11, it's the same as an acid that's 4. If you get a base that's 14 pH, it's the same corrosiveness as an acid that's 1. Now, I don't fully understand the whole theory of pH levels because I'm not much of a chemistry student, but basically acids and bases are both corrosive when they get going, and then neutral, which is water, is kind of perfect. Now, the human body is slightly right in neutral, which is neutral of 7, and body's just over 7, around 7.3, 7.4. That's where the body is. So you have to keep this level in your blood, just over 7, I think 7.3, 7.4, something like that. If it goes down to 7, or if it even goes into 7.5, you'll actually die. So this balance in your blood must be maintained. Now, the foods we tend to eat these days are acidic. Wheat is acidic, rice is acidic, dairy products are acidic, meat and fish are acidic, most processed food are acidic. It's not that there's anything right or wrong. Foods tend to be either acidic or base. Base foods tend to be good old vegetables most of the time, and some fruits and so on. So it's about getting a balance, but our body likes being in the base state, which basically means that Mother Nature's telling us we shouldn't eat so much processed food, and we shouldn't eat so many cereals. That's mainly what it says, and we shouldn't eat that much meat or fish. We should be eating a lot more vegetables, to be honest with you. So we need to go and balance that pH balance, because what happens is when your pH balance is acidic, it will make you feel tired and not so good, because your body will start robbing nutrients to get that blood balance. So the pH, there's a few ways of testing pH. One way is to test it in your mouth, one way is in your urea, from your urine, and the other way is the blood. The blood has to be around 7.3, 7.4. You might be acidic in the saliva or acidic in the urine, but the body will rob nutrients, for example minerals from the bones, which to damage the bones, in order to make the blood base. So the body's working so hard to make the blood base, because otherwise you drop dead, that it can rob you of many nutrients, and this leaves you feeling lethargic. Particularly, you can get into a condition where you have acidosis, which can be quite dangerous if it's severe, but for most people it's just a case of being very acidic. You're going to feel tired and drained and worn down. Okay, so that's the first thing, is it brings this alkaline balance. There's various things. Lemons, for example, are a fantastic way of bringing the balance, because how many green vegetables can you eat? It's hard to eat a lot of green vegetables, but to take a glass of lemon water is easy. To take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water, it doesn't taste good. It tastes kind of a little bit bitter, but it does the trick. Wheatgrass, that's another great one as well, because wheatgrass is concentrated chlorophyll, so it's full of this kind of dark green alkaline solution. So that's also good. So why would you want to alkaline your body? Well, apart from the fatigue issue with alkalizing your body, over time, if your body becomes too acidic, it tends to be a good environment for funguses and viruses, and it seems to help boost rogue cells being the cancer cells, which can later develop into cancer. Your body is designed to be base and aerobic, but things like sugar make your body anaerobic, and that seems to boost cancer cells, as does an acidic environment. So you're more likely to have chronic disease and definitely more likely to be prone to cancer. That doesn't mean that you're going to get cancer because you're acidic. Doesn't mean you're not going to get cancer if you just take apple cider vinegar. But it's one of the imbalances that seems to cause this, because cancer is basically an imbalance. Everybody has a few rogue cells, but if there's too many of them, you have a problem. Okay, so that's the first thing and the simplest thing that I would recommend. 1 glass a day is enough to make a big difference, and to make a big difference at alkalizing your body. If you take 1 glass a day for say 8 to 12 weeks, your uric acid levels will drop a lot and you'll feel fresher and healthier. So it's a good thing to do. Let's have a look at other things we have here. We got antibacterial, antimicrobial. Apple cider vinegar is a fantastic antibacterial agent, and it has been proven, for example, in clinical trials. You see at the footnotes there, there's about 14 or 15 references to clinical research. So I'm not just talking off the top of my head. This is research I'm quoting here. At fighting E. coli, fighting candida. So it's very good at fighting fungal infections. Basically, fungus is running your body. A lot of us have fungal infections. Candida is very prone to hang around the gastrointestinal system and can cause a lot of infections and so on and so forth. Another thing which you can use it for as well, because it's such a cleansing agent, you can actually use it to wash your vegetables and your fruits to get rid of all the toxins from the outside of them before you start cooking them or eating them. So you just simply take, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, mix it in with 1 liter or so of water, 2 liters of water, and just wash everything in them. And it actually helps clean and take all the bacteria and infections and anything nasty or chemicals from your fruit and veg. That's a very practical thing you can do with apple cider vinegar. Another thing is it is good for your stomach, and this is a very potent thing. When people have, say for example, problems with stomach aches and so on, they take antacids, and the idea is that if somebody's got like a peptic ulcer or some kind of ulceration in the stomach, that it's really caused from there's too much acid in the stomach. Now, from an allopathic point of view, they just give you drugs to bring down the acidity levels. But from a complementary point of view, the most popular theory, and I'm not saying this is correct, it's simply a theory, but the most popular theory is that acidic problems to do with your stomach are because you have too little acid, and your body produces acid in spurts, and this causes acid reflux, because 1 second it's low, another second it's high. So definitely apple cider vinegar is worth if you're having acid reflux problems. I'm not saying to take it when you have the acid reflux. I take acid reflux, things like natural yogurt. You could take an antacid tablet, but also things like natural yogurt is great because it is a base and it's tasty. Natural yogurt is very good. Just take a few spoons if you got some acid reflux. But if you start doing it every day, it should balance the pH levels because it's a base. And your stomach has to be acidic, but there seems to be some theories there that it's also corrosive, but it's a base, but it seems to balance the pH and get things running better in your stomach. Another thing which it does in the stomach, it seems to help with the stomach lining and making the stomach lining basically a more kind of alkaline environment, which kills off a lot of fungal infections and actually boosts and protects lactobacilli, which are those kind of acidic friendly creatures. They like acid, but they're gut healthy, they're gut happy. They're the things when you take those little kind of drink things with helpful bacteria. That's lactobacilli. They're actually good for your stomach, and they do things like stop you having a stomach ache, and also in the case of ladies, they can prevent thrush and so on and so forth. So it's a nice balance. So definitely apple cider vinegar for your stomach is well worth trying it out. I'm not saying as a symptom treatment because it's pretty bitter. I don't think it would do well when you're feeling acidic. I think take yogurt or an antacid, but as a thing to take every day, a glass every day, I think there's a good chance that we'll make some balances there. And of course, because the pH balance is better in your stomach and your stomach's working more effectively, it means the food is pre-digesting better, which means that the intestines are getting a better shot at things. The food's already pre-digested, which means you get better digestion, which means more energy. A lot of chronic health problems are actually because of nutritional deficiencies, because we're not digesting our foods. So it's well worth trying from that point of view. Good for blood sugar. Uh, it's common to think in terms of apple cider vinegar being good for blood sugar. I did a lot of research on this. It doesn't seem, by research anyway, to cure or reduce blood sugar levels compared to some other herbs which would. Um, but interestingly, there's a couple of pieces of research done where they took a glass of apple cider vinegar before a high carbohydrate meal, and it did increase insulin sensitivity after the meal, which actually reduced spikes in blood sugar after meal. Again, you can see down in the footnotes there, the reference to those couple of articles. So if you are diabetic, taking a glass of apple cider vinegar just before, like 5 minutes before your meal, it's a high in carbohydrate meal, it seems to make your body better at dealing with insulin and less likely to have a sugar spike. So it's definitely for anybody who's diabetic. I don't think apple cider vinegar is going to cure your diabetes, but it seems to work well if you're going to have a heavy meal. And of course, it helps digestion, so why wouldn't you take it? Um, what else we got here? We got heart health. Okay, one of the issues with apple cider vinegar is that there's a huge amount of anecdotal evidence that it seems to cure everything. Um, for example, a lot of people find it very good for osteoporotic conditions, osteoarthritis. But the idea being that it would reduce uric acid deposits and that would make you feel, you'd have less problems with inflammation of the bones. But that's been debunked because it turns out osteoarthritis is not created by uric acid at all. Osteoarthritis is created by inflammation in the body. But apple cider vinegar seems to reduce inflammation in the body. So in some cases, it will reduce osteoarthritic pain in some cases. I've occasionally had some pains, aches and pains in my body, aches and pains in my joints. Within a couple of days of taking apple cider vinegar, I saw a notable reduction, like down to zero. The pains just disappeared. But then again, I think I was feeling, maybe my body was in a more kind of an acidic state and feeling aches and pains. I don't actually have any arthritis, but some arthritis sufferers do have anecdotally suggest it helps. So again, if you have aches and pains or joint problems, or you are an arthritic sufferer, it is worth your while trying it out. I'm not going to guarantee it. It seems to help some people, but not everybody. But again, maybe because it reduces the inflammation, because it's actually an inflammation response. Your body overreacts. That's how people get arthritis. Although there's a genetic factor, etc., in there. But back to anecdotal evidence, there's very little scientific research, even though I have a bunch of research down below. There's actually very little scientific research on apple cider vinegar. What we have to remember with researchers is that they tend to need sponsors because research is expensive. So usually nutritional companies, supplement companies, pharmaceutical companies like to pay for research. Things like apple cider vinegar is cheap and you can buy it in most stores. So, there's not a lot of sponsors. So even though the scientists might be interested in researching, there's not so many sponsors. And a lot of the research I came across was that mice and rats were by deceived to get liver damage from various things and so on, because they'll do very risky trials on these little creatures because they don't seem to care about hurting them. But there you go. There's not so many on human beings. So if we talk about heart health, for example, there's buckets of evidence out there, scientific research, which suggests that apple cider vinegar will lower your blood pressure levels. It will lower your triglycerides and your cholesterol, your LDL, make everything much better. And all cardiac risk factors will reduce. But there's no research like that. There's very little research, I say. I found one paper on 19 participants which noticed a big or decent sized reduction in triglycerides, overall cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol. Other than that, I didn't find a lot. Well, I did find a lot for mice. If it works for mice and rats, will it work for us? Chances are it will. It's definitely worth a shot. But again, the reduction in things like it definitely seems to help cholesterol and triglycerides and LDL. Does it help things like blood pressure? Probably not, or only to a very small degree. There's other herbs that will probably do a better job there. Um, you know, so if we talk about diabetic symptoms, probably cinnamon is the best one, and cardamom are very good as well. And then ginger is also very good for diabetic symptoms. I think for blood pressure, uh, there will be other herbs. I think maybe garlic or ginger. I'd have to check it out again. I do have videos of them as to which one I always mix up, which one is good. I think it's ginger is good for, diabetes, and garlic is good for blood pressure. But there's definitely some herbs which are quite potent at things like blood sugar levels, are quite potent at blood pressure. ACV doesn't seem to be particularly good. Like I said, it seems to be good if you take a heavy meal. It will help your blood sugar levels, and it will help you with your triglycerides by the looks of it. Anti-cancer, yeah, there's a lot of research out there. I have 3 pieces of research below, and they really suggest that vinegars, they're actually on vinegar extract rather than apple cider vinegar, but vinegars seem to be quite potent at curing or killing off cancer cells. Does that mean that apple cider vinegar will cure you? Not necessarily, but it seems to work at least in some cells. There's a lot of promising results on the cancer side of things. But we must remember there's many different types of cancer. People say cure for cancer is if there's one cancer. Cancers are simply rogue cells gone into an extraordinary level and resulting in tumors all over the body, growths all over the body. Too many of them. So definitely seems to be good. And that test is another thing I found when researching this was a lot of its research is just on vinegar. But it should be, acidic acid is in there, acetic acid, so it should be the same. Apple cider vinegar. Why would you take apple cider vinegar rather than regular vinegar? Well, most vinegar doesn't taste good. I'm not saying that apple cider vinegar tastes great, but it tastes a lot better than a lot of the vinegars out there in the market. Of course, you use things like balsamic vinegar on your salads, so definitely get thrown on those nice, vinegars in your salads. You're doing yourself a lot of good. But for something to take, we're talking about 30 mils a day to get a good result. It would be difficult to take 30 mils a day of most vinegars. They'd be just too strong. Whereas the apple cider vinegar one, I believe, seems to be pretty good. Weight loss. There is research to suggest weight loss, and it's one of those things you'll see in blogs all over the place. It's like the lemon water in the morning. Does lemon water in the morning help you lose weight? It does a bit, but not amazingly so. Does apple cider vinegar make a big difference from the point of view of weight loss? Well, I've got one study from Japan where they took people who were over 25, BMI of 26, 27, and in 12 weeks they lost just over 4 pounds, which is something, but I don't think that's impressive. We're talking people who are pretty fat to begin with, who could probably be losing 1 to 2 pounds of fat a week. So you'd think in 12 weeks they would probably lose 20 pounds if they're on a diet, or with some exercise and diet. But these people lost 4 pounds just using the vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and another group using GABA and vinegar, which got pretty much the same result. I don't think it's a good result. Should you take ACV for fat loss? Well, I think you should take ACV for health. Maybe you're going to lose an extra 4 pounds over those 12 weeks on top of the other 20 pounds you would have lost with exercise and diet. I don't know, but on its own, it's pretty useless. But definitely from the point of view of weight loss, but for health is good, and it does seem to have a mild-mannered effect in improving weight, which this is an interesting thing which you don't have enough research on. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of research on the glucose side of things. It seemed the most promising research seemed to suggest that if you took it while taking a heavy meal, it improved insulin sensitivity. So maybe because it improves insulin sensitivity, there's a more balanced insulin environment, because one of the problems people have is insulin levels spiking up and down. So maybe this would, because basically, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a low insulin environment. You either have human growth hormone (HGH). When you're fasting, when you get up in the morning and you haven't been eating for say 12 hours, your HGH is high and your insulin is low. After a meal, your insulin is high and your HGH is low. Human growth hormone is a thing that's released through your body as a kid to help you grow up. It helps us become lean and healthy and stuff, and it does drop down a bit with age. So maybe it balances the insulin a little bit better, which is a good sign for diabetics. But like I said, there's not enough research, and this is a problem with apple cider vinegar. Not many people research it. So it could be good for diabetics, apart from in a heavy meal. I know it's good if you take a heavy meal, but outside of that, I'm not so sure. But the fact that it aids weight loss would suggest that maybe it evens out the insulin and not so much insulin spikes, because it doesn't matter how much you diet, if the insulin spiking, you're not going to lose weight. So again, a promising result if we take it from the big picture. If you just take it for weight loss, it probably won't work very well. Other things it does all sorts of things. You can, as I said, you can clean your vegetables, you can clean your hair. You just take a few tablespoons, mix it in with a litre of water, and pour it over your hair, and then rub it in, massage it, and leave it in for half an hour, and wash it out. It will balance the pH in your scalp, which is a really good idea. These are sort of things which will make your hair a lot healthier. I haven't tried it yet. I'll try it, and I think it's worth a shot. It's good for your skin. Again, you can dilute it. You can use cotton wool, dab it on your skin. Apparently helps a lot of people with skin problems, but again, make sure it's dilute because it's a little bit corrosive. Another thing you can do is it's supposed to be very good at warts. I know it's also very good at skin tags. For warts and skin tags, don't dilute it. Keep it concentrated. Dab a bit of the cotton wool put on. Also, if you can tape that cotton wool onto the wart or onto the skin tag, very hard to do it with the skin tag, but definitely you can do it on the wart and leave it overnight. It seems to work pretty well because it's basically corrosive. So that might well be worth a shot. And apparently you can use it for gardening. That's another thing you can use it for. So apple cider vinegar is a wonderful herb. It doesn't cure absolutely everything, and I think it's a very important thing that we look on the internet. We tend to see allopathic medicine saying there's no evidence for anything, and then we see complementary therapy say, well, this thing cures about 500, well, okay, 50 diseases. I mean, apple cider vinegar is supposed to cure everything. And I think there's a happy meeting ground. If we take a look at the research, and there's not that, although I quote a lot of research down below, there's not really much research. And it took me a lot of working out to find that research. There's a lot of stuff that could be researched that's not been researched. When we look at research, it validates that definitely it will help kill off cancer cells. It will help people who are diabetic have more balanced sugars when they're eating a big meal. It does seem to help the blood lipid profile. I have seen it work on aches and pains. It definitely kills off a lot of funguses and viruses, and very good for the stomach. And it's good for many things, but it's not brilliant for everything. Like, I think there's other herbs which are better for diabetes or better for blood pressure and stuff like that. Nothing is a cure-all, but the fact is it cures a lot of things. And this is why I would rank it up with ginger and garlic as one of those tonics. You should be taking ginger every day, you should be taking garlic every day, you should be taking apple cider vinegar every day. Because it's so potent. It will prevent a lot of ill health. Things like, most of us have some degree of funguses and viruses in the body and some bacteria. Get all that stuff out of your body. It's one of these things, along with wheatgrass, which will do a great job of clearing a lot of this rubbish out of your body and detoxing you and making you healthier and less prone to getting chronic disease in the first place. How to take it? Most of the time, you just take a couple of tablespoons in a 200 milliliters of water and you drink it. Also, I would advise that you rinse your mouth out with water afterwards because it is corrosive. It's bad for the teeth. It's good for your mouth, by the way. It's a mouth cleanser. It actually kills all the bacteria in the mouth, but then it will be bad for the enamels to do, clean out some water. Also, regarding the quality, the ideal is the organic one, which is a thing called the mother in it, which is like a kind of strainy kind of stuff, and it's kind of, you can't really see through it properly. That's the best. My advice is always, if you get the best, fine, but always get the best that you can for your pocket. Maybe where you're living you can't get the good stuff, or maybe you don't have the money. And I would always sooner think that you would take apple cider vinegar than not take apple cider vinegar. So if you have to go for a cheaper version, still good. It will probably have more benefits. It'll be more potent if it's the unprocessed one. But even the slightly processed ones are not that bad. I don't believe in getting too kind of high and mighty about how organic or perfect my herbs are. Just get them into you. That's number one. I've said it before, I say it again. Frequency and dosage is important. You need to be taking this stuff every day. You need to take enough. I would reckon around 2 tablespoons, probably around about 30 milliliters once a day. If you've got a chronic condition, any kind of chronic condition, like gastrointestinal problems, for example, if you're ill, a cancer patient, another example would be maybe try 2 or 3 glasses a day and see how it goes. I know cancer patients, for example, often have problems of feeling vomiting and stuff, and if you can't take it, you can't take it. But it's one of those things that's worth taking because it will build you up, and it seems to kill off some cancer cells anyway. So that's why I'm saying a very important thing, like apple cider vinegar, it's one of those things you take it every day. It's a good chance you'll never get sick. Or if you get sick, you'll be less sick. Or if you are sick, it might help you cure a bit faster. I don't want to say it's a miracle cure, but I want to say it's a tonic. It is potent, it is useful. Apart from tasting not so great, I mean, it doesn't taste awful, but it doesn't taste great either. Apart from that, it is really, really potent, and really, if you look into Google it and see, there's so many things. I just quoted the major things. It does a lot of good, and it's pretty easy to take. So you're one of those things, and that's why I made a little video about today. So do get your hands on apple cider vinegar. You must take at least 1 glass a day and stick in it for 8 to 12 weeks to really feel the benefit. And it's more of an insurance policy. You know, you can take health insurance, only pays out when you get sick. This kind of health insurance stops you getting sick. It's worth trying it out. Okay, thanks for dropping by. Like and subscribe if you can, and have a great day.